I hear it all the time. I want to buy a house. Where do I start? So that's what I'm talking about today. Hey friends, welcome back. If we have not met yet, my name is Mary Howard and I am your Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina region realtor. It's nice to meet you. If you have any questions or comments throughout this video, feel free to email me, call me, or text me. My number is here on the screen and in the descriptions below. Because I keep hearing this, I decided to break down the whole home buying process into 9 steps. So this will be a series of videos laying it all out. How to buy a house step by step. So let's get started. The first step of buying a home is to make sure that you're ready. So when I say make sure you're ready, this is obviously being financially ready, but it's also asking, are you emotionally ready? Are you mentally ready for the process? Are you physically ready? When you buy a house, you should typically forecast yourself to live there anywhere from 5 to 7 years. Statistically, and in a typical market, it takes about 4 years for you to pay that mortgage down enough where it becomes profitable for you to sell that home. So that means staying in one place for that time span. You are essentially putting down roots. And that's what is hitting on the emotionally ready part. When you think of staying in one place for 5 to 7 years and you can't imagine living anywhere else, that's a good indication that you are emotionally ready to purchase a home. 2, are you physically ready? Buying and owning a home is not just about the process of acquiring a home. After you close on this home, you are now a homeowner. And that comes with responsibilities. Do you have the time, the knowledge, and desire to handle the maintenance, the repairs, and the upkeep? It's definitely more than just paying the mortgage payment. There are crawl spaces and attics to inspect, air filters to change, and yards to mow. If this is something that you have the desire to do or learn how to do, then that is a good indication that you are physically prepared to buy a home. Are you mentally ready? This is about the process and your time to go through the process. This journey, depending on where you are starting out at, could be as quick as 3 months or as long as it takes you to get everything together. All the work just to get to the stage of actively touring homes can be frustrating and overwhelming. You must mentally be prepared for the highs and the lows of the real estate process. Although I asked you earlier if you're emotionally ready, throughout this process, it's best if you try really hard to keep your emotions out of the transaction. This needs to be a smart business decision. Are you financially ready? The 3 main categories to evaluate at this point are your savings, your credit, and your debt to income ratio. Your savings. You will need money for a down payment. You will need money for closing costs. You will need money for inspections, due diligence money, earnest money. There's a lot of money that you will need to get through this transaction. Typically, I tell my buyers they need at least $12,000 to $15,000 before they can start this process. So what does your savings look like? Your credit. I recently read a report that the majority of the closed mortgages had an average FICO credit score of around 740. The higher the credit score, the better mortgage rates and terms you will be able to qualify for. There is Credit Karma out there that you can look at, but every lender that I've ever talked about this with have always told me the best way for a buyer to understand their credit is to request their free credit report from all 3 credit bureaus. You can do that once a year by going on each of their websites. And if you don't know, they're Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. So what does your credit score look like? And lastly, your debt, or your debt to income ratio, the DTI. I did a whole video, you can watch that right here. And it is a very in-depth video that will walk you through everything. So the quick version is the lenders look at your debt to income ratio to help determine whether you qualify for a mortgage. By taking your household gross monthly income and your household monthly debt, they do some math and get a percentage of how much of your monthly income is unused, and then decide if you have room based on your current situation of if and how much a mortgage payment that you would be able to afford. So if you can say that you're ready to commit to living in one place for at least 5 years, if you are physically ready, if you have a savings account, your credit score is looking good, and you are mentally prepared for the highs and lows of a real estate transaction, then I think you should continue with video number 2. And in that video, I'm going to be going over more deeply about getting your finances in order to buy a house. If you found any value in this video, could you hit that thumbs up button below? And don't forget, if you have any questions, shoot me a message. Keep an eye out for that next video, step number 2, getting your finances in order to buy a house. Thank you for watching. My name is Mary Howard, and this is There Is No Place Like Home NC. Take care.